Here we go!
Get that last no-scope kill and hit pause. It's time for the video game podcast where the Konami code is alive and well. The console wars don't exist. Rings are just as valuable as coins. Pots are not safe from swords. Giant robots kick ass. And fireballs are a perfectly acceptable weapon in a fist fight. That's right. It's time for the Super Gamer Bros podcast, Ultra Hyper Alpha Super EX Double Impact Plus A Live. Settle in and let's get to gaming.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to Super Gamer Bros Live. It's Thursday, which means it's time for us to talk about video game fun and talk about it a bit as what we like to do. This week you have myself, Slayton, and I'm joined by...
Hello, it's Cynic, everyone.
It's been a busy week as opposed to some weeks when it's just kind of quiet. I'm excited because we're going to have a bunch of Xbox news today and some weird news that we really want to talk about. But we like to kick our show off each week with our question of the week. And this week's question of the week is, what movie do you think would have made a better video game than a movie? Not if the movie's bad, but like, have you ever just been watching it and been like, hey, I really want to know how this movie would play out?
Well, I had an interesting thought, and it's Pocky.
No, yeah, he's running late.
I just got done with a meeting. I'm sorry, I just got done with another meeting.
So we're talking right now about the
question. All good. Hello, Pocky.
Which is, what film would be better off as a movie? I mean, as a video game. It doesn't have to be a bad movie. It could be any movie, but just you thought, hey, this should be a video game. And so Cynic's kicking us off with this one.
Yes, I don't know if this movie would be a better video game than a movie, but I do think it would make a very interesting video game, and I don't think they ever made it. So for whatever reason, What Dreams May Come popped into my head as I was thinking about this question. So if nobody's ever seen it, Slayton, Pocky, have you ever seen it?
I love that movie.
Love that movie.
I love that movie.
That is one of the few movies where I'll go, so the cinema snobs have a point.
So I love Robin Williams, and I of course miss Robin Williams' work. Man, I used to absolutely Robin Williams is a fantastic powerhouse actor. But the interesting thing is that for nobody who's seen the movie, he dies in a car crash and ends up going to he kind of goes into like an afterlife heaven kind of, he passes on, and it's a pretty cool little journey where he has to kind of, you're in your own little area where you kind of make the world as you want it to be, and it's like painted and like it's kind of your own little your loading screen before you go into the full-on afterlife.
No, that is the full-on afterlife. Everyone's heaven is their version of what they think it would be.
Well, it is,
like
and
art painting.
It is, and then you can break out. It's kind of like it's your personal
Here's why
heaven,
they broke out.
And it's like a lobby, and then you kind of go. You can break out, and you can go into like the over heaven. But he eventually goes to hell, and hell is pretty damn striking visually. And I'm imagining, if you've ever played like Child of Light.
Great game too.
Child of Light's an amazing game. I think if you make it just a little more realistic, possibly, but like your floaty flying mechanics are still there. Maybe like a turn-based system with the graphics and detail of heaven and hell. I think it would make for a pretty damn cool video game. And like your party is like your son or your spirit, walker or whatever. I think it'd be interesting. So
I'm laughing because that was one of the worst descriptions of that movie I've ever heard.
It was pretty bad, Cynic. It's like it's a lot of metaphors in that movie.
It's been a while since I've seen it, and I can only sit here, and I'm not going to go do a deep dive into this movie right now. I can
There's
only.
a reason he goes to hell.
Yes.
And you can visit other people's heavens, but that is your heaven.
Yes.
So we're just leaving it at that. All right. I want to give Pocky some time. He just joined. I think Inception would have worked brilliantly more as a video game than did a movie. I love the movie, But I think that game, if they would have taken the time with the story and fleshed out a long video game, it would have been mind-blowingly epic.
It could have been very cool. You even have reasons for minions to come in and for many people to be shot as obstacles or
and it occurred to me
against you. Yeah,
when they assaulted the Arctic basin, the guy's memory. I was like, this feels like it should have been a video game level. Like that, and then I was like, man, this whole movie should have been a video game. I would have absolutely loved it.
Agreed. Inception would make a very cool video game. Definitely. Pocky,
okay.
Ideas?
I have two, but the problem is I keep coming with good movies. So does it have to be a movie that failed as a movie?
No, like I love Inception.
Just go for it.
Okay.
I love that movie.
So Monster Squad. You play as a group of teenagers running around trying to stop the universal monsters. Come on, that would be a great video game.
It's a great video game.
Okay.
And then my other one was I just forgot it. I was like, no, because I was like, Monster Squad was the second one. I was like, the first one was going to be was another sci-fi movie. Hold on, there's like another.
You get to pick one, Pocky. So your pick was Monster Squad because you don't remember your other one.
Yeah, Monster Squad was mine because I'm like, when I got Monster Squad in my head, I'm like imagining like all the kids being fairly good at things.
Yeah,
like, the kid has his own little strength. Like if you pick the older kid, he's got the crossbow, but it's like the fat kid has like garlic and pizza and some like stuff. Like somehow he has all the weaknesses of the monsters on him as food that he throws it at him. I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, that was our question of the week this week. That's funny. So it's time to get caught up with everybody. What have we been doing this week? And I'm ready for Cynic to lose it about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, actually, I'm here originally A for genitalia and Cynic's take on Mortal Kombat 11.
So before we get that, what have you been doing this week? I'll start
because I talked yesterday. I talked personally, so let's go Cynic first.
All right, I'll start. I got some new pops in this week. First, I got my Mewtwo.
Yay!
Fantastic.
But okay, you ready for this one, Cynic? Contra.
Ready.
Contra.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad those exist.
Don't accidentally poke them because they'll die.
They were a little harder to obtain because I pre-ordered them that they weren't going to come out. So I got one for like $6, one for like $9. So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
They didn't come together, but I was like, I got my Mewtwo, and I got my Contra, and I've been really happy.
Yeah, those look fantastic.
I was super excited because they announced a bunch of changes coming to Destiny, which I'm so excited for. They announced you're going to be able to actually transmog armor. So whatever you like, you can turn it into ornament, which means I'm going to go back to my spawn armor set of the Baron robes. They're actually taking things out. Like, they've listened to all of the criticism. They're like, okay, this is how we're fixing it. This is our layout. Eververse is kind of going to slow down. They're going to take all the stuff that people want out of Eververse, put it back into the game for you to earn. Like, super excited. Like, I know you got back into it, and we haven't been able to cross paths very much because our schedules have not lined up, but I'm really excited about this. They announced it today. I'm all about it. Ready to go.
Very cool.
But lastly, I've been playing Animal Crossing, and I have this whole meta thing I'm going for of me trying to invade the Cult of Nook and take out Old Man Nook. Well, my latest meta picture was this one. If you'll notice, there's a creepy doll in the corner. I walked into this room.
That's the first thing I noticed, by the way. I didn't notice.
Yeah, that's literally that room design. That's the first thing I noticed. Was like,
so
why is there
I'm also noticing creepy gingerbread men in the middle.
So this is my friend's island, and I go there all the time, and I was in her room, and I saw this, and I put it online that I have discovered that I'm not crazy. There is a haunted doll. Everyone, like, I have this whole story behind it, and she was texting me today, and she commented that her island is infested with these dolls. Every time she gets rid of one, a villager has another one to give her. She cannot get rid of it.
That is not good.
It's like the Jonathan Colton creepy doll song all over again.
So my meta is starting to bleed into the actual real game without me realizing it. I was like, oh, what?
fact that you have to collect the pieces of a ghost after you've scared it.
I've done that many times, and I've
But
bought.
I'm just saying, like it's one of those things.
I bought a bunch of anatomy cadavers statues that I'm burying at people's islands so they can dig up bodies. There's gonna be random X's, and they're gonna dig up a body.
Wow.
I have some problems.
Literally only you.
Oh no. I'm pretty sure other people have been thinking about that, but yeah. So the ghost of the haunted doll has become an actual haunted doll for her on her island. I'm like, I'm sorry about that, y'all. Sorry. Other than that, I did download Streets of Rage 4 last night, and I'm dying to start it, but I probably won't start it till tomorrow. So if you're free, I'll text you, be like, hey, let's get on and do this.
Very cool.
Nothing but good things about it. So I'm like,
did you download it on Xbox or Switch or what?
It's in the Games Pass. So I was like, boop, let's do it.
I'll do that right after this. Definitely.
Big fan of Xbox Games Pass. All right. So what have you been up to this week?
Love it. I have been, of course, I've kind of backed off of Mortal Kombat 11 a little bit since they ended one of their seasons. And whenever they don't have ranked rewards, sometimes I play player matches or King of the Hill, but I just kind of use the time to play other things. So I have been drawn to the State of Decay 2 and playing more of that, playing more of the Daybreak, which is basically their horde mode. And that is super challenging, crazy fun. And I jumped into Grand Theft Auto 5. And I actually beat Grand Theft Auto 5 yesterday. The main story, I didn't 100% complete that game because no thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's a feat.
Yeah, I don't like 100% completing open world games. It just ends up being more of a chore than it is fun, unless I'm playing the Spider-Man on PS4.
Actually, the only one I got close to wanting to 100% complete was Saints Row 3 and 4, just because some of those challenges were like, okay, I've got to try this.
Right.
What, because they're just over top enough, like Spider-Man, but just over top enough to make it fun versus like, okay, do this one thing.
Yep. I 100% completed Elder Scrolls Oblivion and its expansions. And that was surprisingly easy since you basically just have to go through the game and beat the main storyline and a bunch of side missions. So
did I ever tell you my silly story about Oblivion?
No.
I loved Elder Scrolls. And the Oblivion gates, I went into every single one of them because I thought there was only so many of them, and I was going to just beat them all. And I didn't realize that they are never ending.
Yeah, they just don't stop spawning until you beat the game. It's just it doesn't end.
I thought differently, so I jumped into everyone, prepared or not. Then it got to the point where I would just summon my 2 Daedric Knights up the ramp and let them kill everything that I couldn't see. Then I go up there. I don't have to even deal with anything. So,
actually, I have an Oblivion story that's I was in a shop and I accidentally, instead of hitting A to talk with somebody, I didn't realize I stole something by accident because it was right in front of the shopkeep. So immediately I'm assailed by soldiers and I run because I'm not strong enough to take them on yet. It's pretty early in my playthrough. So I bolt and I actually I'm walking along for long enough to where I don't see these people anymore. I end up going into an Oblivion gate, and I am moving through here. At this point, stealth is my best option, so I'm sneaking around and killing Daedra, and all of a sudden, as I'm sneaking up on one of them, my character turns around, "Stop! You violated the law!" And I'm like,
they chased you to the gate!
Oh, you chased me into the gate? And it alerts the Daedra. It turns around to kill me. The guard is on top of me, so I kind of bolt and use the old Doom trick of making them attack each other. So I eventually ran around enough where enough Daedra killed this guard for me, which was very nice of them, and I ended up being able to kill the rest of the Daedra. Because, if you've never played Oblivion, the other enemies level with you, and the guards are at kind of a really high level, and they don't level with you.
Yeah.
so it was pretty good. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. State of Decay 2, Grand Theft Auto, and a little bit of Mortal Kombat. So yeah.
All right, Pocky, what have you been doing this week?
So a little bit more Persona 5. I'm now at Dungeon 6 or 5. I've just hold on. So it's
Out of how many?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, how many dungeons?
I don't know because
There's 33.
I think there's a total of 10 done. 8. Hold on, 7 Deadly Sins plus 2.
That's what's inside the Funko Pop lid.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
So it's the 7 Deadly Sins plus 2 more plus an 8. So maybe 10 total. Because each of the bosses are the 7 Deadly Sins.
And how long does each? Just for context, how long does each dungeon take typically?
It's
You've been Thanos, by the way.
I noticed this. Hold on. So the answer to that question is apparently getting worse. It depends really on the dungeon a little bit. There it goes.
I was like, oh, boy's like literally fading away down there.
There
we go.
I
like the Quicksilver look that you have, by the way.
Thank you. Oh, the hair. Yeah, it's gotten long enough now that it kind of. Some of the dungeons are really short. Like Futaba's is you can get done within 2 or 3 days. I mean, literally in the game, there's a thing 2 or 3 days, and then like the current dungeon I'm on is one of the longer ones, and it could be about a week. Everything has a timer, so you have to complete everything by a certain point with Persona.
Oh,
it's not super like if you don't do it. Like I've never had a point where I'm like, oh man, if I don't hurry up, I'm going to lose the dungeon. Because if you lose the dungeon, they shift you back 1 week and go, okay, now go do the dungeon, go finish this plot. You should have enough time. It's getting everything else outside of the dungeon done, like getting your confidants up, because getting confidants up in the game is really important because they unlock new skills and tricks and items and abilities. Like you can't get like a politician in the game. You have to help run for office. If you get him all the way up to 10, you can basically persuade any monster to join your party minus the bosses. Because most enemies you have to be equal to or above their level. And if you get him to 10, it's like, nope, it doesn't matter. As long as he's not a boss, a mid boss, or a name boss. So you got
pretty useful.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of Persona this week, I take it.
Yes, that and golf with your friends, because I've just been goofing off with that one. There's a level editor now.
Yeah, we talked about that in fan service yesterday. Online golf, putt with your friends on a phone.
No, not a phone. It's on PC.
It's on the PC. I'm
It's
fine.
It's fun. It's also $5, so it's not like the worst thing. That was given to me as a gift. But I just found out today. Remember the old game Evil Geniuses?
Yeah.
On a Microbit? It's free right now.
It's free because 2 is about to come out.
Right. So you can go to Steam, and if you go to Steam, it's still $10.
Yeah.
If you follow a link, you can get it for free. And I'm like,
yeah, you're gonna go.
I love that game. I had a base that was like producing a massive amount of income, but the problem is I kept getting my threat level too high, so I kept having these super spies show up.
All right, so let's get into the stuff from the week, and let's get this out of the way now. Let's talk about Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, I thought we were talking about genitalia. Okay, what is the two? It's genitalia or Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat 11, you know.
All right. Well,
yeah,
it was pretty surprising. A friend sent me a link to the trailer, and I thought it was very cool to see them bring back Shang Tsung to the actual story. For those of you who didn't play the Mortal Kombat 11 story, it was a great story. But it left out Shang Tsung, who was the first DLC character, and a lot of times they don't include DLC. At least in the last 2 games, they haven't included DLC characters in the story, except I think Tanya for MK11. But I digress. Or MK10. Sorry. Whatever. They're adding a story that it seems like Shang Tsung is going to be the antagonist here. I'm super happy to see them do that since they bothered to bring in Cary Tagawa, the guy who played Shang in the original Mortal Kombat. So I'm very glad to see him get some extra screen time. They are also releasing a few extra characters. So there's going to be Shiva, the Shokan four-armed lady from Mortal Kombat 3. She's making a comeback, which is awesome. I love Shiva. And there's going to be Fujin. There's Fujin, Shiva, and RoboCop.
Yeah.
So at the very end of the trailer, Shang Tsung goes, "And even I don't know what'll happen next." And then it shows police telling some people to stop, and then it shows RoboCop going, "Stop, dirtbag!" And I'm like, "Really, RoboCop? Get the fuck out of here!" So this expansion is called Aftermath. You can pre-order it now. I actually immediately went to pre-order it because the next time I turned on Mortal Kombat 11, there's a little thing that says pre-order, and I'm like, "Cool, let me do that." And it's $40, and I was like, $40
in a story mode.
As a little extra, an extra story mode, which granted I don't know how long it'll be, but 3 characters and the story mode is $40. Now
3 reskins.
There's 3 skins. There's 3 classic skins for Frost, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. But I'll be honest with you, that kept me from pre-ordering it right then and there because that's a lot of money just to be paying for 3 characters and a little bit of story. As hype as it is, it's pretty irritating.
It's not all. That's not the worst thing.
What is the
lot
worst
of the DLC, the skins and stuff that were for sale, that people spent hard money on, is also in that thing. So all that money that people just already dumped into the game is now. So for people who join the game early, like all the competitive players, their stuff. Or some of the skins are like, and all the items.
I'm cool with them making stuff free. Like if you had to pay stuff before and you make it free now, like I'm okay with that. I would hope that you reward a player who has already paid for something like that. Maybe
they never do.
There's a little extra something in there. Yeah, but the price tag of that is pretty. That was a big turnoff for me. So as big as a fan as I am, and as much as you were wanting me to just like get this out of the way, be done with it, because I'd be super hype about it, I actually do have a gripe about that because that's a hell of a price tag for a little expansion like that.
You have to wonder what they're thinking because maybe the story is actually substantial. Like I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. It's Pocky right there. It's all the money. The one thing that's really nice about this though is that of course they patch in a compatibility patch, which I'm hoping comes with a balance patch or something like that. We'll see, but it's definitely going to add new stages, including the pit with the acid. So it definitely needs a change of scenery. So they're adding some stages, which are great. They're adding stage fatalities, which is amazing. They had to do the same thing with Mortal Kombat X. It didn't start with stage fatalities, and they added some really good ones in there. So I'm hoping that they showed off one in the pit that's very cool. So stage fatalities are awesome. Friendships are back.
Yeah, I was going to say, friendships are the other one. Like Scorpion doing, "Get over here," and the teddy bear goes, "Oh."
It brings the teddy bear. There's been a few other friendships that have gone online, like Noob Saibot using clones to play hopscotch with himself. I used to love friendships, and so I'm really happy they're bringing those back. So new stages and the friendship finishers are going to be free. But hefty price tag for Fujin, Shiva, RoboCop, and some new story featuring Shang Tsung and some extra DLC characters.
I guess
what they should have done was what From Software did. When Dark Souls 3 came out, they gave what they call the loyalty discount. So it was $10 per game. So if you play Dark Souls 1, you got $10 off. If you play Dark Souls 2, you got $20 off. What they should have done, what Warner Brothers should have done to appease the people who bought their game in the beginning, was give a loyalty discount. It's $40, or if you already have the game, $20.
Well,
then it's nicer to you.
That's a great idea, no matter what company you are. Like, please let that business model catch fire across gaming.
We would hope.
No, it will catch fire. Like catch fire is the From Software hard, not the how From Software actually treats its fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they do. So yeah,
let's move on to what I'm hoping doesn't catch on in the gaming industry is the big Cyberpunk 2077 announcement.
Sure, they're not the first one to do this.
I know.
There's another game that already did this.
Conan did this, but
so did the last three Saints Row.
Okay, I get that one. So they were breaking down the ESRB for Cyberpunk, and they realized one of them is because you can literally customize the size, type, and everything else about your genitalia of your character.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what, like, I had a kind of smart ass comment I know I sent to you. I'm gonna be less harsh about it, but I'm wondering, like, is that gonna be okay? We'll give you a bulge or a camel toe, and you can kind of decide how big one of those is. Like, what's the deal?
And Saints Row the Third, it was just the size. It was just for character because Saints Row is over the top crazy.
And boobs. You can customize like the size of that, that kind of thing.
In the Conan game, there was nudity, so you got to see the different animation. People were crazy with that one. I just don't understand the craziness that they may plan with this one. Like, are you going to be able to do mechano dicks and dragon dicks and weird clap traps? Like, I'm just not quite sure. Because they're very specific in saying types, combinations of, and other things.
Yes, when you said combinations of, I went, oh Jesus! There's a set group of people who are really going to love and enjoy this feature.
Well, there's several sets. First off, yes, the kink people who will want to totally turn this into Second Life all over again somehow, which will be hilariously bad in its own right. But the real thing is, it does help a lot of people who are transgender who can now put themselves in that game. They can be a trans female that hasn't had the GRS, or a trans man who hasn't had the GRS, so he can look like him.
Yes,
instead of having the thing.
That's fine.
No doubt. I do definitely agree with that. The fun part is how customizable is this thing going to be in a cyberpunk game?
Well, I just want to make sure everyone understands. We're not knocking this as an idea.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, we want to make sure because people may take it out of context, and so that's what we want.
Take whatever they want out of context. We can always explain it, but I just want to know how far is this going to go, and how is it related to actual gameplay?
Yeah.
I think as far as gameplay wise, probably zero.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it is probably have nothing to do with gameplay. Like, no character is gonna, unless maybe certain characters react differently to.
Okay, but here's a question then: why go through the effort of that much customization if it doesn't affect gameplay?
Well, we don't know what the extent the customization is. Like I said, like if you're gonna, like for an example, let's say you can customize whether you have a bust or not, and what the size of that bust will be. And then whether you can combine that with a bulge and or camel toe, and how big will that be? So I'm just wondering, is it going to be like that kind of customization, or are you going to go in there and are you going to give whatever you're going to throw in yourself teeth, with
mechanical flow. I don't know.
Yeah, with
oh my god!
With a neon spotlight and some a rotator in it,
it has as a USB charge port attached to it. So
yeah.
There you go.
I think as far as gameplay wise, it could, as an example, because you got to remember this is based off a tabletop role playing game. You could have characters who will not want to deal with someone who presents as predominantly male or predominantly female. They may be sexist or misogynist or against men. So it could itself,
or against mechanical enhancements, or
somebody who's
like Deus Ex or something.
Yeah, so it could lead to gameplay and story wise. We don't know because one, this is CD Projekt Red, who one likes to use his employees, but two, does a really good job incorporating a lot of things in their stories. Look at Witcher. I mean, Witcher has a card game that wasn't meant to take off, and it took off.
Gwent is amazing. Yeah.
So I think right now what it is it is a good one, it is a good gag as parts of fun, as long as it's in good humor, and two, it's got us talking about the game, which is its biggest.
I'm just waiting for that Rule 43 to kick in, and we're gonna see so much porn from this game. Machinima porn, like it's gonna be fucking insane, dude.
You mean like Cyberpunk 2069?
Yeah, it's gonna be something like that. I'll probably watch it for the shits and giggles of it, but I'll be like, no.
I think it. But the big thing is this leak has given them so much press.
Yeah, so much, and they haven't even described exactly what kind of customization we're talking about. It just said like customization options, you know, and yeah, who knows what the hell that option even is. So it's too funny, man.
It is,
and I can only guess there's going to be some outrage out there that'll just kind of.
Of course, you're going to have the Christian mom movement be like, video games are evil again, and you're going to have all these little kids in the closet making the weirdest things and giggling. Like, come on, don't do that shit.
I mean, I'm just thinking of the game Steam Workshop on this one.
Mm-hmm.
You're down in your head.
Okay. So let's move on past.
Oh God!
Let's get past the D.
We found the line.
Yeah.
I went ahead and signed up for Google Stadia with my 3 months free, and I want to show it to you because I don't know if you guys have actually looked in there. So I have officially signed up because I have 3 months free, and as you can see, it's fine. This is running right in my browser, no problem. And there's nothing really here that makes you want to keep with it. The only thing I have is Destiny 2. But here's the thing.
Everything else.
Like, literally, it'll just start playing.
It'll play video.
Sorry. I have to go to my home screen.
That's how videos work, man.
No. So here it is. Because it's the only game I have. So when you hit play, it just start playing. It's pretty quick, and what I was laughing at was the biggest joke on Destiny on console takes 20 minutes to load into a game.
Yeah.
This one took seconds, and I'm really excited of the idea of cloud gaming with xCloud now. A lot to do with this, just because.
So you got a 3-year-old game for free.
Now,
there's really nothing in their store at all worth buying.
Yeah, and you know why no one wants to buy
stuff worth buying, but it's also on other consoles. So if you own a console, you know,
you probably own most of these games.
Yeah.
I went ahead and enabled cross-platform play with Stadia on my Xbox, so I can play the characters wherever.
I was going to ask what kind of, if there is cross-platform, is it
there
only
is.
Xbox?
It's cross-play, but look at this. I'm already in the game.
Yeah, that's pretty phenomenal, actually.
I am already in the game. I'm using my keyboard and mouse. It's a completely different game as keyboard and mouse. I can use controller. But just the idea is incredibly smart in there. I love it. But Stadia has nothing. Pocky just looked at the games list. There is no reason to own Stadia.
So also
no exclusives, rather.
There's no
exclusives. Google is doing 3 really dumb things. One, they put their name attached to it. 2, they're not going after any indie developers at all. All they care about is AAA titles. Like, even they had an interview with the person who's running Stadia, and he says, we're not really worried about indie developers. If indie developers want to be on our thing, they have to come to us. They're not going to. Nintendo has learned from that mistake, and it's getting indie developers look at the fucking Switch. And 3, the other stupid thing they're doing is they didn't get any of the companies that agreed to sign on with them to give them any game that looked like that you had to have the system for. They have no system exclusives that are worth mentioning.
Well, there's one coming up we talked about last week, but as you can see,
now is that chompiness in game or on stream here?
I hope
it's probably on the stream.
Okay.
I mean, I have a really loose mouse configuration because I haven't actually done much with it.
Okay,
but
it just looks a little choppy. I was just wondering. I was just curious.
It's also because I'm live streaming in HD.
Of course.
So yeah, it was definitely.
See,
I forget how to exit.
That's a hell of an improvement. If it runs as smooth as it usually does, that I'm used to,
I tested it at work today.
That's a hell of an improvement.
It was like that was less than 2 minutes I'm in the game as opposed to the 15 minutes on any console.
Yeah, I literally, whenever I see you online, I have to go. I have to click on the game, and I'll literally go. All right, now I can go to the bathroom. I can grab some water. I can grab a beer. Maybe get myself a snack. And when I come back, I'll sit and wait for another 5 minutes. So,
But I'll tell you what, I love the promise of it. I'm so mad Google fucked it up. And you're right. They have one game we talked about last week, the one where you make your own games.
Yes.
Looks amazing.
You were pretty hyped up about that. Yeah.
Not worth $10 a month. But we'll see if that was just for sale. And I'm hoping that they really say something about xCloud soon because they haven't yet. They did the whole Xbox presentation day, not a word about xCloud. So mad because if that is what we're going to get from cloud gaming, I am 100% more on board than I ever was before.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I have xCloud on my phone and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's very fast. It's good to go. But it's just...
So my thing is what happens when Google eventually ends Stadia? Like when you own a physical copy of a game or whatnot, it's yours. And even if they stop supporting the system, as long as the system's still running, you can play the game. What happens when Stadia stops running because it's not known, like Google is not known for
sticking with things for very long?
Yeah, I mean, there is literally a website devoted to everything Google has ever killed. And the website is pretty extensive.
It is. There's a lot that they've messed up on in the past. I will be the first one to talk about that, especially when it comes to Stadia. My screen just turned off. I'm just trying to fix it.
I can still see you, by the way.
Yeah, I know. My camera's on, but my screen got unplugged because I've had small children in here. You know,
destroying things.
Yeah. So you guys talk. I will be right back.
All right.
So, yeah,
your opinion on that, Baki, because I totally hear where you're coming from. I'm all for owning something that, when taken offline, works. You know.
Yeah. And I think the bigger problem with Stadia is going to become is they've come in with it with the same attitude that Google always has, like with YouTube and everything, which is we're YouTube, we're Google. What are you going to do? I mean, are you not going to support our system? Well, in the video gaming world, yeah, they can do that and totally be fine with it. It's not like you're offering anything that's super special. And the worst part is, if this was Europe and Asia, having high-speed internet is the norm. We're in America. Unless you're in one of the major cities, you're not.
I just showed you is me on my 5G in here, probably getting about 400. Streaming HD definition and still trying to stream into a game, as well as I have my shadow computer up. That was not bad. So,
right, but you're still.
I don't think talking about bandwidth issues is really much of a relevance anymore because you can get good internet wherever.
Yes, it is, and it is because you are still near Austin, and I'm still near. I am in Cedar Park and Leander, which means I have really good internet. But you talk about it. Hold on, you talk about anyone in rural Oklahoma and Virginia.
They will still have worthwhile internet that you could use.
No, their internet in the middle of the
I have 5 videos up. I'm live streaming with Restream and StreamYard. I have 4 phones, 2 laptops, 2 TVs, 3 game systems, all running right now in my house. I'm not running on massive bandwidth on this computer right here. I keep this computer purposely low, and I have my shadow computer up.
Right, but what I'm talking about
is probably equivalent to what you're getting in rural Oklahoma right now on this computer.
But at the same time, some places, like when I was in Liberty Hill, in the outskirts of Liberty Hill, where my grandparents lived, I had to have satellite internet. Satellite internet is so garbage.
It's not good.
And that's where Oklahoma, Ohio, Missouri, parts of Virginia are getting their internet because we don't treat the internet as a utility in this country.
There's DSL out there.
And then, Alaska, places like that are not going to like Stadia because why? But you can still get a physical game. That's why the biggest thing about physical games look at their soul.
And stream it to your Chromecast. That's another option.
Yeah,
always have good signal no matter where you are, unless you're like in a potato field somewhere.
and if you look at central part of the United States, they're in a potato
It's
field.
potato fields, yeah. I think it's because you guys haven't. I've told you for years, get a Shadow Tech computer. It's amazing. All you have to have is a basic internet connection. And all you have to have for Stadia is a basic internet connection. It adjusts your resolution. Like at work, I have a fiber one. It was crystal clear. Here, it had adjusted my internet connection. So it adjusted the graphics quality. It's not going to be like, oh, you're going to get HD fucking 4K quality on a low band Wi-Fi, but it's still usable. So I think the idea of trying to say, well, because you have crappy internet, you can't use it, is people had that question from the beginning when they announced xCloud, and Stadia, and they're like, it does not matter.
Well, the thing is, there's so much internet and multiplayer gaming going on right now. Just whatever. I mean, you're going to have a decent connection to play Xbox online and things like that. I think the bigger question is, how long will Stadia stay online, and how long will you be able to play the games that you purchased? If they keep supporting it, that's great. If they offer some sort of offline tool where you have the code to everything, and they're like, okay, guys, we're shutting Stadia down. Here's everything you purchased. Get a big notebook with 2 terabytes on it. Because we're gonna go ahead and download it all because we're about to shut it down. Like how are they gonna? Or are they just gonna go, hey guys, thanks for the support.
Bye.
I'm glad. Thanks for your $50.
See you around.
Well, I honestly don't think it'll be here this time next year if they don't change something and make it worth, like, you have to have it.
So
the only reason there's anybody there is because it's free for 3 months.
And I think the thing that would help them out is a Games Pass of some sort.
They do.
They do.
All the games are old ass games.
Well, I mean, it needs to be updated then.
They don't have any other games. Like they have a couple new games, and you get a discount for being just like Games Pass. There's a discount for buying new games.
Yeah,
but there's nothing exclusive. There's nothing new.
Yeah.
Well, don't you want to play the remake of Tomb Raider?
No.
And I know that they said they're going to be doing some sort of big event in the summertime to reveal the future of Stadia. And I just don't know what they could possibly do outside of that one game we showed last week.
Well, you're invested in it. I guess we'll have to see. I'd like to see an indie pass where you get to play weird ass or just solid indie games, and they pay the indie companies a decent amount. Hey, your game's doing well on this pass. That's cool. And I just give people a chance to play these games, and I don't know how you would pay everybody equally for that, but hey, I'd say a games like an indie pass would be great. A Stadia pass that you pay a monthly fee for, and you don't have to pay for extra games on top of that. They just need to make things more accessible, because the problem is a lot of the people that they're trying to bring to Stadia already have a console to which they're playing all the stuff they're already offering. So,
yeah. There's nothing here on the pro section, which is the free games. It's like Serious Sam Collection, Steamroll Heist, PUBG, The Turning Test, Zombie Army 4, Destiny 2, Guilt and Grit. Like everyone has these.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they don't have them, they had no interest in playing them. Like PUBG. Why would I download PUBG? I had no interest.
I owned PUBG and it was fun until Fortnite came out.
Well, that's what I'm saying is if I had interest in it, Stadia would not have been the reason I got it.
Yeah,
right.
So I think they're trying to bring in like those people who are on the fringes and don't know what to do, but it's that gaming anywhere service that Microsoft's going for, that Stadia's going for. That's why you can play here, but I like the idea that it's simple as just go to stadia.com and start playing.
Yeah.
Stream to your Chromecast. I have the highest hopes for what Xbox is going to throw out there, because oh my God, if I didn't have to store all of my games, I'd play more of them, even though I've got a lot of storage because Destiny and all my main games take up so much space. I have terabytes of hard drives attached to them. Each one's like 2 terabytes, and I just keep running out of space because I put things I'm going to play it, like The Witcher, and then it just sits there forever.
How Oh, it's in your library. You can just re-download it, right?
Yeah, but if I didn't have to worry about that, like the Netflix games you can just watch and start playing like Stadia is, that is a game changer. I'm sorry. I know people are like, but I gotta go to GameStop, buy my hard disk. I don't give a fuck. This is what they should be doing.
No, it shouldn't.
It is. It is exactly what
it shouldn't be.
I think if they offered the option to do both, that'd be great. Like if I bought a game and they're like, hey, you have the option to install it or stream it. Cool. We'll just stream it for now. Or no, I want to play it and the option is, do you want to install this or stream it? Well, let's see. It's a multiplayer game, so I'd rather just stream it because if my internet goes out, I wouldn't be able to play it anyway. So I think that would be a nice option. But yeah,
I just like the idea of actually owning what I buy.
Yeah, but the problem is,
Gavin, PlayStation 3, as an example, and Xbox 360, people cannot re-download those games because the servers are gone.
I understand that, but that's just, there are times where even things you own won't play anymore. Just because you own it doesn't mean it's always going to work. I understand you don't own the digital copy, you're paying for the rights to access it. I 100% understand that, because I only will spend money on the multiplayer games I know I'm going to use a lot. Everything else comes off of Games Pass. And those things come and go as they will. If I miss it, I miss it.
Yeah.
But you're looking at changing the way people approach gaming or keeping it in a different era just so you can have a physical disc that I don't need. Because
okay, here's the question. I'm saying keep a physical copy of the game so people who want to keep playing it, and once the companies stop deciding to promote the system, how is that hindering anybody?
It's not hindering anybody. I'm not saying that's, but the future is coming, though, and you need to start thinking a little bit more ahead.
I am, and I'm thinking of the future.
We will have some physical copies of things just because, but do you know how easy it is to not have to keep changing out the discs or wait for the long install times or wonder if there's an update when you have to put another disc in? And I'm a little spoiled by the digital future. I love it. I embrace it.
You're lazy by the digital future.
No, because everything I play is multiplayer supported forever today. And when it's not supported, that means no one's playing it. So it doesn't really matter.
No, actually, that's not true either. If the company decides nobody's playing it, there have been plenty of games that had multiplayer that they killed just because they wanted to.
Yeah, back in the day, but recently, tell me a recent one from the past few years.
I don't know because I literally have stopped paying attention. Because everything multiplayer right now is two things. It's either trying to be Fortnite or it's trying to be Minecraft.
Well, I think you need to have a little more faith in the bigger people.
No, they've never given me a reason to give them faith, Gavin.
They have these days. They have these days. I know you're all about the independent developer, but they can't host those games forever either. You have to look at the bigger people who are going to actually be able to host the games for a long time. And the only reason servers shut down is because they shut down divisions of studios like they did with Disney Interactive, which was a huge blow because that got rid of everything that they were doing with Disney Infinity. That was bad. That was really bad. They shut down Lego Worlds. That was bad. But it was because they did too much too fast. All of these other multiplayer servers, like for Fortnite and Minecraft and Destiny and Plants vs. Zombies and all these Call of Duties, Gears of War, Halo, they're not going anywhere for a really, 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 really long time. Like, we'll probably be dead before they decide to go anywhere.
I think that if we're just focusing on multiplayer, yeah, most likely. But
we're not just multiplayer. It's the fact that you want single-player games. Maybe they don't deserve to be in the cloud because you're right. You need to have a physical copy of a single-player game that one day people aren't going to play any of. And I understand that aspect now that I'm thinking about it because I think strictly multiplayer. You think a lot of single-player games. And I can see where the danger is no one's playing this game. We're not really going to host it anymore. So I understand that aspect. Maybe I should download some single-player games and see.
But as an example, one of the greatest brawling games of all time was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which was a River City Ransom style game.
Yeah, I remember the game.
That was a great little beat 'em up.
Yeah, you can't get it anymore. People who spent $20 on it can't get it anymore because the 360 servers are shut down from it.
Well, there's a difference. Like when let's say when Marvel's license ran out with Capcom, you all of a sudden couldn't buy you couldn't download Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Well, not Ultimate Alliance. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate. You couldn't download the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You couldn't download any of those anymore. If you already owned it, you could fire it up as long as you had deleted it to make room. And the thing is it's like Gavin said, you've got terabytes upon terabytes of stuff that it's just sitting there. And if it's going to be like, you just never know when something like that's going to happen where you're just not going to be able to re-download things again. So if you want to be a kind of a game hoarder, and keep everything, in your terabytes so you can play your single player games again, I think that's fine. But once they take something off the market, it's kind of like let's say you deleted something to make room in your library, and you go, let's say it's the same thing as this is taking up too much of my space. I'm going to sell it to GameStop. You go to GameStop, or you go to some store, and they go, sorry, they don't make that anymore, and it's really hard to find. You go to a digital store and go, oh, we don't sell that anymore. Sorry, did you give your copy away? Did you delete it? Oh man, So I think that kind of thing, it just kind of comes with the territory. But I think we went pretty off track because I think the main concern about Stadia was just how long will they support you being able to play the games that you purchase. And it's like Gavin said, they'll be supporting all these multiplayer games for a long time, a really long time, and it's just a matter of how long will Stadia survive? How long will Google support this thing? How long will your $60 be worth something?
I think that's really the bigger question. Is like, because Stadia's other multiplayer games are free, but if you look on that list was Doom Eternal.
Yeah,
they have
great game.
But people already have them on their consoles. So
you know what I think would be great is if you went it is the future now. What would be interesting was if at the time of sale you could go to the developer and buy for, let's say if a developer had a program and they were like, all right, hey, you can come on our website and buy Doom Eternal and you can do it for $60 and you get it for a certain console, or you can get it for $70 or $80 and we'll give you the code for all the consoles. I think that'd be pretty amazing. Pretty hard to swing.
No, because they were talking about that today on the Xbox. We're going to start talking about Xbox stuff now.
Really?
They're Play Anywhere. So it'll work on the Xbox ones we have now, Xbox Series X and PC. It'll just adapt to whatever you're playing on.
Mm-hmm.
So all of their first-party titles are going to be that way from all of their studios. So you buy it once, you have access to it all over the place.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it's through Microsoft. It's basically through Microsoft.
Yeah,
you don't make a product, you can play it on any Microsoft product.
I can see that actually being beneficial, so that you don't have to keep rebuying the different versions of the games. But let's talk about Xbox this morning because I watched that whole thing. It was like an hour. I did not. I was excited, but I was let down because they really didn't announce anything. They kept saying, "Oh, watch some Valhalla gameplay," and it was just like a montage trailer. So people got really mad in the show. I was watching the mix, so you should see some of the comments. But they were talking about, this is just the first of many to come. I get it, but they didn't announce a pre-order. I was so mad. I was on Amazon hitting refresh on the search term.
That's a bummer.
So I picked 5 of the trailers I thought were really interesting. They showed off 13 games. Typical things. Madden 21 they announced. That was the lamest trailer. 5. But let's start with
Madden's got you don't want to diss the Madden fan base, man. That's a hell of a fan base right there.
Just wait for 1 year. They'll forget and they'll restart all over again.
I was okay. All right. So here is Bright Memory Infinite. This was what they started with, and I had no idea what I was watching until I swear to God I thought the DeLorean showed up.
Let's see it. Come on now. We got some hardcore swimming.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot of breathing. Huh.
Is this Kombat?
I thought I saw a medieval game for a second. I thought we had a knight until the
Oh, just wait. This is the reason why I don't know what I'm watching.
This is also in Japan. For some reason, this is in Japan. And also
Yes.
really
Okay.
like it.
Wait for it.
Okay.
Here comes some Spartans.
Ah, I
Oh, this
see.
is Time Splitters.
And they're demon Spartans.
With
Is that what we're watching here? The successor to Time Splitters.
No. I thought that as well.
in feudal
Okay,
Japan.
I swear to God.
It's
I swear to God,
Titanfall 3
I
or
thought
something.
that
I'm
was
sure.
the DeLorean.
All right. Well, thank you, sweetheart.
Wait, are we about to get hit? Is this baby about to hit 88 miles per hour? Wait, did it just make a Japanese sound?
Bright Memory Infinite. Okie
So,
dokie.
How do you think, small child?
Okay. One.
What's
it looks
that, Pocky?
Is that what does the small child think?
Yes, this is my child. Sometimes I don't know how long Allie likes to be left alone with this child. So I have her now.
That's what they kicked it off with. Had no idea what was going on because there were Spartans, there were robots, there was a super soldier, and
The DeLorean.
battle cars. It looked like the DeLorean. I
All,
was
all
really
set in ancient Japan. There's some weirdness.
So I was like, okay,
In general.
this looks really good. It looks kind of amazing.
I wish I could say it looked really good because I don't know if we saw the actual gameplay.
Everything that they showed was actual in gameplay footage from inside the game.
So
Everything was rendered in the Xbox One Series X. Everything.
But it's
so they had it seems the grappling hook from like Sekiro, and then they had the what was that epic game that's the Gears of War creator made that had the lasso that would freeze things. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, but it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't remember. what it's called.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, the pain.
Okay, so kind of a bizarre mix-up of things. And then they just kind of went on to show some more things. So here's another one I thought was pretty interesting. The first one's more so you can kind of see what it does. This one I thought was pretty interesting because it has rose monsters.
the Scarlet Nexus. You can turn it up if you want. You can press on plus on.
I think every game is cyberpunk now, I guess.
Yeah, I noticed the theme, a lot of post-apocalyptic and horror games.
Well, this is Bandai Namco, so not really surprised.
It looks like
Rose monsters! Like, corset-wearing rose monsters.
So
Rose monsters. Okay, so what is this devil? Is this a Devil May Cry shoot
No.
up?
no, obviously this is a second Setsu game.
Huh.
This is a Shin Megami Tensei game. Okay, I get you. Okay, we're good. Can
Okay,
I change anything?
this reminds me of the sequel to Shinobi, which was Nightshade. Let's see.
Oh,
We got the cell shaded graphics.
My power is psychokinesis. Ready?
Who is not your voice actor?
Okay. So we got an arena fighter mixed with, let's see.
Is it an arena fighter?
It kind of
It
looks,
feels like a hack and slash mixed with Devil May Cry.
yeah. When I was thinking arena fighter, it's just because it was a big open area between one character, and then it kind of went to like hack and slash.
I think I know what this is trying to be. If it introduces multiple characters, I know what it is. Then I know what they're trying to be. But this no, Yeah, Devil May Cry, except with more emo teenager going on there.
Huh.
If not, we're looking at a Monster Hunter.
I think it
Yeah,
looks absolutely amazing.
It looks interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that. It looks interesting.
It gives you more of a feel what to expect than that first trailer did. Like,
Yeah, it definitely gave me something definitive to grab onto. That's for sure.
Okay, so these are my 3 favorite in the order they're going in. I cannot wait to play them, especially with you guys.
She's eating my she's eating my cords here.
It is labeled action RPG.
Yeah. All right. So first and foremost, here we go. I love games like this, and I think we're gonna have so much fun playing it.
And it's questionable and all. It's Curve Entertainment.
This is or was.
It's either gonna be really good or really bad.
Is that another Eiffel Tower in a post-apocalyptic neon landscape?
Sir, the last one was Tokyo Tower. This is Eiffel Tower. Instrumental structure is correct.
Oh. I thought she had released her grip. Give me that. There we go.
One, I love the designs in this game. I think they're just bizarre and fun.
Someone must have really liked Blade Runner and or Fifth Element, is what you're saying.
We have a shot at true independence. I won't let it go to waste.
Oh my God! It's beyond human.
Abilities by giving you a special assignment.
I am so ready to play this with you guys.
What happened?
Hi, Elephant. Oh, this is those style of game. Okay. So this is Diablo Cyberpunk Edition.
Yeah, I love hack and slashes. I love Diablo type Gauntlet type games. I'm all about this one. Let's play and just do stupid shit together.
The Ascent. All right, so we got Diablo Mass Effect. All right.
I love it. Like, it just looks fun and amazing and multiplayer all over it. Like, I'm just like, yes, let's all put on the people because I have a fondness for those type of games. Now, the next one I'm going to show, I'm really excited that they announced this one because I was going to get this one on Steam because the idea behind it is really good. But you want to talk about an absolute stunning way to look at a game. It's Scorn.
Oh wait, no, not that it was Scorn.
Well, let's see it.
Okay.
When you say something like Scorn, it really makes me want to. It makes me think of hell. I don't know why.
Just watch.
And there's a skull on the back of a head. Is that alien Voldemort?
Yes.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, we entered Geiger's Wet Dreams.
Yeah, no kidding.
Pretty much.
Phallic.
And another face. Many faces everywhere.
But no penise.
Oh, you spoke too soon.
Never mind. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Oh,
no, it's a penis.
Just watch.
Oh, there's the Prometheus heads.
Yeah.
There's obvious metaphor for a woman giving birth. You're dribbling a little there, kiddo. What?
They've been fossilized. Where are the eggs? There's an egg.
Fossilized missionary position, apparently. I don't even.
Oh, that's definitely very alien. Where you have the like clear skin on top of the skull, except it actually has eyes in it, and we are giving birth to flies. These eyes are pooping intestines. Yeah, no kidding, girl.
This is where babies come from.
Okay, is this This reminded me of like Mortal Kombat, the movie, where you have to put reptile in a statue for it to come alive.
So this is apparently what happens if you have H.R. Geiger and the team that did the Harvester apparently make a video game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I first heard about this game, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one where you were playing that weird guy walking around, but you have no idea if anything you see wants to kill you or if it's benign. And if you make fucked up choices, it makes the game harder for you in the future. Like if you see a crab and you accidentally kill it and it was benign, then that entire species tree is going to start to hate you and make the game harder for you in the future.
Huh.
Or you may think something looks cute and innocent, and then it kills you as soon as you walk by it. So it's this weird judgment game that it's harder to explain than that, but this is the one I think that I was going to actually try to get on Steam. But I was like, whoo, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
That was some pretty weird stuff, man.
It is beyond the point of weird, but
Yeah,
it's gorgeous looking.
So just to let you know, the artist, yes, was inspired by the works of H.R. Geiger and Wazinski. I forgot how to say the other gentleman's name, but the guy who basically does the same sort of stuff as Geiger did.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, what if we made a game out of all of their artwork?
Yeah, that's kind of what that looked like.
And how creepy it would be. So it's supposed to be very atmospheric and very unsettling, and I think I'm ready to do that because I couldn't not get through Alien Isolation, so I probably could get through this.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think you'd make it. But I'd love to watch you try.
Oh, you'll watch. You will watch me try.
I have a question. Why couldn't you get through Alien Isolation?
Because I'm afraid of two things in life, which is spiders and aliens. And the Alien 1 and Alien 2 movies scare the shit out of me when I watch them, that I have to have all the lights on in the house. The sounds in the atmosphere in Alien Isolation were a little too spot on. Like I would not go into those fucking vents. And when the alien dropped out of the ceiling for the first time and you hide, I was done. So then I watched all the cutscenes that IGN put together last year for Alien Day. I was like, there's no way I would have finished that. When you got to that reactor and everything's flashy, no, I would not have finished that game. And then when you're flying through space and they're all frozen, or are they fucking frozen? Would not have finished that fucking game. I couldn't.
So yeah, I just wanted to say, because this seems like one of those slow burn games. Like this is going to be one of those games. It's like if you get a Fortnite player and the stereotypical twitchy kind of gamer, like
they're not going to be able to handle it.
They're not going to handle this game because it's like.
Oh no! The fun part about that is that you'll always have the reactionaries who will post, them trying to go through the game and them screaming their bloody heads off.
Yeah. That's probably going to be me.
Those are always fun.
All right, last thing for the show, and I saved the best one for last because there is no way in hell we are not playing this game. Okay, I was wrong in what I thought it was, and you'll see why. But I'm super fucking stoked.
The second extinction. Well, obviously the first one didn't do a very good job.
Did I see an asteroid?
Okay.
I thought this was the new Dino Crisis. I thought this was the new Dino Crisis.
No, this would be awesome if this was the new Dino Crisis. I will be kind of off.
It's a multiplayer dinosaur shoot 'em up.
It's Left 4 Dead with dinosaurs.
Yes. Look at them.
I will actually agree with you on this. I will play this if I can get it for the PC because I have a Xbox One.
I could get behind that.
I'm so excited. I thought it was Dino Crisis. I was like, yes.
Can you rewind the last 2 seconds of that trailer?
You saw the T-Rex. Yeah.
I think 2 seconds trailer. We're fine with that. Pause. Yeah. That's awesome.
I am so ready for that game. That is like a must buy. Did you see the limbs falling off everything and their explosions and gore physics? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, they were splintering apart into just little pieces whenever they would get hit in the head, or a grenade would just like atomize them. That was pretty cool.
Now, not the thing, but actually, Left 4 Dead actually did have a really good story, and some of the things, if you read, like what was going on in the background. Like if you kept
Yeah.
reading like some of the posts, I'm actually kind of interested in that too. Like I want to know what the lore of that world is. I mean, because it looks really.
It looks amazingly fun.
Looks fun.
Yeah.
Looks super fun.
It's
Yeah,
like an hack and slash, but with guns.
It's
Yeah.
dinosaur
Oh,
mass murder.
I'm always down for a good Left 4 Dead clone. So like
Oh
that's pretty
man,
cool.
so those are my 5 favorites, and Last Extinction we will have to play together. Like I am like yes. As soon as my house gets put back in order, which should be soon, we will be full on to everything. Like it was amazing. So, and then at the end of the Xbox thing, they just talked to a bunch of the game developers. Like the Valhalla one was kind of let everyone. That's the reason everyone stayed. They wanted to see gameplay footage, and it would just look like a regular like gladiator style game because there's no stealth.
Yeah.
And other things. And they talked to the Dirt 5 crew and the Madden crew, and so after that, it just wasn't any attention. And they're saying every month they're going to do this. So hopefully next month they'll announce a pre-order because we're getting to June, which is the time they announce pre-orders. So I was excited by this. They're going to show first-party stuff next time. And
Sorry.
I think when
Can you hear her farting over here? Because
I do.
I think
I didn't know how sensitive this thing was.
so is she apparently.
Yeah, get it out there, baby. Better out than in.
My thing is that next month was supposed to be when E3 happens. So it will be kind of interesting to see if Sony and Nintendo not so much because Nintendo has Nintendo Direct now, but it will be kind of interesting to see if anyone kind of treats June as their normal release month because that's what they do.
I also want to see how Sony's going to respond to this.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about, they've been very tight-lipped. Because there has been nothing but bad press coming out about the development cycle, the console itself, the problems they're having. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond to this. The only thing they've shown so far is the controller, which I think it has a lot of amazing features on it. But
I think what's going to be the big difference is I think they're going to pretty much treat this next generation as they've treated this generation, which is if you want a fun single player experience with some really awesome stories, you're going to go PlayStation. If you want a really awesome multiplayer experience, you go Xbox.
What I'm hoping is they say, let's just go ahead and enable cross-platform play. I think Sony just needs to kind of bring that barrier down because not for every game, but for some of these bigger title games, it would be nice. There's no reason not to do it, but
there's a handful of games I can see them not being able to because some of them, like the Xbox version and the PlayStation version, is on different versions. Sounds weird. Double word.
Yeah.
So, but I think I don't know. I mean, Sony's always going to be a big deal about that. The fact that Nintendo was like the first one to really start dropping that barrier.
That was Xbox that started dropping that barrier with Nintendo of all people.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Nintendo is the most tightest, most Nintendo-y thing they've ever done. Which, before we go, some fan released a fake Nintendo Direct about an update to Animal Crossing that adds quality of life improvements that should have already been there, and it blew up the internet. It blew up everywhere.
Wow.
I watched it. I was like, I agree.
Could you tell it was fake or at the beginning?
I remember knowing it was fake because, like they're talking about one of the quality of life improvements is craft more than one item at a time. You can actually set how many you want. Buy bulk. Tell how many you want to buy in bulk. Put a marker down where you're going to dig so you don't accidentally dig up something else. Like,
wow.
It was hilarious. Like, it was so funny, but it literally just blew up the internet today. Anyway, so that's been it for this week's episode. We'll be back next week having lots more fun with you guys. Don't forget, Mondays is the Harley and Jill show. Wednesdays is fan service, and Thursdays is
Super Gamer Bros.
Super Gamer Bros, which we're doing right now. You think I would remember? I'm thinking if you're free tomorrow night, we should play Streets of Rage 4 and just binge play the fuck out of that.
I'd love to.
Yeah, so tomorrow night I'll probably have to switch my consoles out because my one in the bedroom is the Xbox Day 1 edition. And so I might switch it out with the S so that it streams better, but we'll see. But yeah, Streets of Rage 4 tomorrow. We're going to play that, have fun, and Pocky has a streaming schedule as well.
Not yet, but we're getting there.
And so That's
my
been
problem is I don't want to accidentally interrupt cross with somebody, so I don't want to like obviously be streaming when something else is going
well.
on.
If you start setting up a regular days and times, whatever you want, we can work around all that because we're gonna end up with a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday show that happen in the evenings. Sundays we're gonna game stream, so you can do anything around afterwards or before or whatever. So yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Of course, I'll join in as hopefully this one will be sleeping.
Don't count on it. Don't count on it.
We'll see. I'll just start that download just to make sure that we can do this like guerrilla style. You can text me. All right, man, we've got some
Let's
time.
do this. And you're like, okay, right now we got 5 minutes. Let's go.
Right now.
Yeah, okay. So that's been it for this episode. We'll see you guys next week. We hope you guys have had fun, and we will be blowing up a shit ton of dinosaurs soon. I guarantee.
Oh, perfect timing. All right.